Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and today at the end of January we're going to take a look at another much maligned Action Master. This time around we have the 1990 Decepticon gunslinger, Treadshot. Treadshot would only be available in 1990 as he and the Transformer toy line would be discontinued at the end of the year. As an Action Master, he is a unique character in this sense, as Treadshot never did appear in the series prior to becoming one of these, but he was likely one of Takara, based off of a Takara Diaclone toy. As you can see here by the imprint on his legs, this kind of gives the impression that he was the hand grip to a gun, so his alternate mode would have been a gun of some sort. Of course, you look here at his chest, he does seem to have what would appear to be, I'm guessing this would be the barrel of the gun, and this is probably the rotating ammunition magazine. Doesn't seem to have anything to indicate that he would be a large revolver like a Colt 357 Magnum, but probably more closely in line to a genuine, ordinary six-shooter carried by most police forces, carried by a fair number of police forces back in the day. But there really isn't enough evidence on here to make it distinct as to exactly what Treadshot would have transformed into prior to becoming an Action Master. But let's take a look at his articulation. It's standard for an Action Master. You can turn his head left and right. It's kind of restricted by these little bulky things on his shoulders. The arm does rotate all the way around at the shoulder. He's got a joint, got a bar at the hip that allows him to bend at the hip about 90 degrees, and he can bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Plus also the fact his gun can be removed and it can be mounted onto the rear hip of his partner Catgut. Stick it on there, and there you go. You got a running cat with a gun. Most cat owners' nightmare. Alright, let's take a look at transforming Catgut here into the large weapon. First of all, we make sure he doesn't have the gun attached to his rear. You start by rotating the back legs forward like so, while rotating the front legs backward. So you get his legs in a mess like this. Then you're going to push down on the tail so it flips the head around. Then you turn it over and mount the gun inside the front barrel of the weapon. And then there you have it. He's become the gun, a particle blaster. See how well Treadshot can hold him in this mode. And it's becoming a pain to get him in there, partially due to how the legs are. These back legs here, the way they're curved, they don't really sit in well sideways. Can't really hold it on that rear grip. Reattach the gun and mount it in like that, and it just pops Catgut right off. So Once again, Transformer fans, it's probably not a surprise, but another epic fail for the Action Masters. But we'll put it back in there and get Treadshot out of the way, and you can at least have a look at how the gun looks. Just be nice if he could hold it. But we can't always get what we want. And we'll go ahead and we'll show off the loose parts, starting with Catgut. Like many of the animal style Action Master partners, he is in one piece. None of the pieces are intended to be removed. And then, of course, the thing you got to watch out for if you're buying loose Action Masters is to make sure he has the correct gun. This is Treadshot's gun. The instructions refer to it as a pulse demagnetizer. Turn around here so you can see the other side. So you got to watch for when you're buying loose Action Masters. A lot of times people don't put the right ones with the right figure, so always be careful of that if you're buying one loose. Make sure they have vouched the gun is correct. Alright, moving right along now, we'll take a look at his card backer. It has a rather impressive picture of him on there, although the way that head looks, it almost makes it look like that he's a helmeted warrior rather than a robot. And we turn around to the other side, and like with all of the Action Masters, there's these silly power plans that they're using from a prototype mold of the toy. And then, of course, you have the instructions over here. You get down here to the UPC barcode and the robot points. He was worth 1.5 points. And of course, down here you've got some extra warnings and such in foreign languages. This is a UK version card backer. And then we get down here to his tech spec. It's got a picture of him that matches the one on the front of the package. It's done up in purple in here to signify he's a Decepticon. It even says he's a Decepticon. It lists his name as Treadshot and gives his function as Gunslinger. Now, Gunslinger, sorry about that, kicked the tripod. A gunslinger is typically thought of, like in the old Western movies, of basically being a gunfighter. And his motto is, a gun is only as good as the one who holds it. I apologize if this video may upset anybody that has a fear of guns. When someone needs shooting, he's the one the Decepticons call to pull the trigger. Treadshot can outdraw and outshoot any robot this side of the galaxy. Further carrying on with the cowboy motif, maybe his alternate mode is an old cowboy pistol. And his partner Catgut is more than a willing weapon. This snarling, ferocious four-legged beast eagerly turns into a powerful, fusion-powered particle blaster with pulse demagnetizer attachment. Like Treadshot, Catgut gets a blast out of his job. Sounds like they enjoy their work a little too much here, folks. Moving right along, we take a look at his stats. It gives his strength as 6, his intelligence is 7, his speed is 3, his endurance is 8, his rank is 7, his courage is 8, as is his firepower, and his skill is a perfect 10. So he really is possibly the best gunfighter this side of the galaxy. Just leaves you to wonder who it is on the other side. Now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Treadshot? I think the toy needs some serious redesign, folks. I've never been that big a fan of the way the Action Master figures hold their figure, the added figure, as a gun. And this one is definitely one of the worst. As a character, Treadshot really didn't appear in any of the media, so we have to rely on what the lore has developed for him in the recent years. Treadshot was apparently recruited into the Decepticon army with the promises of wealth and autonomy, so he could get anything he wants and has the protection to back him up for it. As his skills were in high demand by both the Autobots and the Decepticons. However, his greed and his arrogance led him to go to the Decepticons. In fact, Treadshot's arrogance is as legendary as his gunfighting skills. The only problem with it is that he's so reliant on his gunslinging abilities that he tends to ignore the fact that other tactics might be better off for the situation militarily. But even so, there really isn't that much of a use for him in a lot of the media. And I do think that the toy is rather poorly designed, like many of the other Action Masters. Despite the need for somebody that's a great shot, I'm still going to list Treadshot as being on the bottom tier. I mean, his gunslinging skills do give him some appreciation and bring him up closer to the middle tier than most of the Action Masters would that fail to be of any value. But the execution of his larger weapon really is rather poor in my eyes. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your opinion of the Action Masters, Treadshot gets a bottom tier review. And that concludes my review of the Generation 1 Decepticon Gunslinger, Treadshot. If you liked the video, thumbs up it here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already joined us. Please also consider leaving a like for this video and share your thoughts of Treadshot in the comments section down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.